Yes, sir. Mm.
Exit the roundabout onto junction A. In 600 meters, turn left onto Bangalore Bypass Road, Service Road.
So, good evening, one and all. We are assembled here for the two-day international workshop on research ethics organized by Ackman Foundation and Seva Academy. On behalf of Seva Academy and Ackman Foundation, I welcome our resource person, Dr. A. John Lawrence, sir, retired Associate Professor of English, St. Xavier College of Education, Palayamkota, India. Sir, we are very happy to welcome you for this session, sir. And sir has delivered many lectures, many keynote addresses in various conference, workshops, etc. all over India. And we are very happy to have you, sir. The session is yours, sir. Please.
Okay. Thank you for this brief but meaningful words of introduction. Okay. Is the screen visible, please? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Thank you.
In 600 meters, keep right
Good.
to continue on Highway 44.
Good. Welcome to the participants. I am very happy to be a part of the Acumen Foundation and Seva Academy. And I'm very happy to present the topic, research ethics. A relevant topic, a topic that is needed for research practice. Good. The presentation is divided into three parts, or the agenda goes in three parts. Number one, the concepts related to research ethics are clarified in part one. Then in part two, research in doing, ethics in research doing. Then in part three, ethics in publication. Good. Now, prior to entry into the topic, first we should have an idea of what is research. Generally, it is believed research is an activity that is done for the completion of a major degree. Generally, it is believed to be a credit-oriented degree, or it is a degree of honor. Of course, it is true, but actually, research doing is more than that. Doing research is your way of life, is your way of thinking. It is the way of your attitude. It is your mindset. It is your profession. When I say mindset, all will not be interested in doing research. Everyone who is in the field of higher education would be interested in the field of teaching. But there is no guarantee that all those who are interested in teaching would be interested in doing research. Because doing research is a mindset, it is a passion, and it is a desire, and it is in fact an additional job. or an additional responsibility. For example, for a college professor, if he or she doesn't teach, he will not get the salary. But a professor may not do research or may not actively commit himself or herself for doing research, but still he or she will be getting the salary. So the professorship of a professor doesn't bound to do research. This is a weakness. This is a weakness. Okay. Then generally we all choose a research guide, or any scholar chooses a research guide. A scholar, if he or she is choosing me, basically he will look for two qualities. Only if a professor or if a research guide has these two qualities, then that guide would be preferred or respected or loved by the research scholars or chosen by the scholars. What are those two qualities? Number one, he should be a professional. Then number two, he should be or she should be ethical. What is meant by being professional? Being professional is related to knowledge. Being professional is related to doing the job or doing the duty. When we say someone is professional, it refers that that person is capable of doing that. That is professional. This is academic. But more than that, to be a research guide, to be a valid research guide in the society, among the academia, among the learned community, any professor or any researcher or any research guide should be ethical. So the point is this: if a professor or a guide is not professional or not knowledgeable enough, he or she will not be preferred. Similarly, if there are ethical issues on the part of the research guide or research expert or research well in research also may not be preferred. So if you look at what is meant by ethics, we know now we have seen what is a profession, and to be a successful professor, one should be professional. To be a successful research guide, one should be ethical. Now, what is meant by ethics? Ethics is basically doing what is right and not doing what is wrong. That is in one word. Do what is right, don't do what is wrong. That is ethics. Then, here arises the question, why should we have ethics? Or, what would happen if there is no ethics? If there is no ethics, individuals, the society, the institution, the universities, the colleges, the research centers cannot exist. Even if it exists, there won't be takers or buyers or customers. No one would prefer to join in an institution where there is no ethics. Therefore, ethics is basic component, or it is an inert quality for existence. Then, being ethical is the responsibility of the individual and the society. In certain parts, in certain aspects, the individual will be responsible for the ethical act. At the same time, a single individual cannot have control over the ethical practices in its entirety. On the whole, an individual cannot control the ethical practices in a society. So, an individuals have their own limits. So, the responsibility of maintaining the ethics depends on the individual and the society. Good. Then, before entering the topic, let us ask the basic question. We are talking about research ethics. Before that, shall we ask the question, am I ethical? Or are you ethical? Am I ethical? Are you ethical? What would be the answer? How many of you would say honestly that I am ethical 100%? I do not know. The ratio may be, some may be 70%, 75%, 50%. The percentage of being ethical may differ from person to person, or may differ from profession to profession, or may differ from institutions to institution, because being ethical is dependent on so many factors. Okay, good. Then, when I say being ethical in research is dependent on so many factors, what is the reason? Being ethical doesn't imply or doesn't allow anyone to be unethical, even a single person. That is ethics. But I say, or we agree, all of us, we cannot be ethical 100% in what and where. That is a question. Here comes the answer. There are two lives. One is personal life and another one is professional life. Once again, I repeat, all of us have personal side and also the professional side, or the duty side, or the academic side. Okay, good. So, with regard to personal matters, don't touch the ethics of any individual. It is left to them. Don't touch my personal ethics. No one should touch the personal side of ethics. I hope you all would agree, because ethics is personal in some aspects. But at the same time, when you are doing the job, when you are in a profession, when you are in public, when you are doing a public duty, you have to be and you must be ethical. Private life is different. College life is different. Private life is different. University life is different. Being a personal human being is different. Being a teacher is different. I hope you are very clear. If you are not ethical, or if you are not doing that is right in your personal life, that is limited to the personal life. But if you are not ethical in the public life, if you are not ethical in the professional side, including the research, it would badly affect the image, your personal image. And sometimes it may go to the extent that you cannot be in that profession if you are unethical. So, being ethical is a compulsion, especially in research, where personal involvement of the scholar and the research supervisor is involved, it is a must that we should be ethical. Good. Now, let us enter into the next part. Research ethics. When we say research ethics, it means doing what is moral and doing what is good in research. That is research ethics. Okay. So according to Davis, research ethics refers to the principles, rules, guidelines, and the norms of research-related behavior that a research community has decided that is fair, proper, and appropriate. So, in research ethics, while doing research, number one, you should be proper. Then number 2, you should be fair. Then number 3, you should be appropriate in your research behavior. Okay. Then UNICEF has given clear guidelines for doing or practicing ethics in research and in all evaluations. All evaluations. So we have ethical code to be followed in research. Any institutions or all the institutions will have their own established research code practices. It may vary from country to country or differ from discipline to discipline, but there will be a checklist. There should be a checklist prior to the submission of the thesis, prior to the publication of the research article. They have to declare that I have followed all the research guidelines that is given in my university. This is very common. This is very common. In all the Western or the advanced universities in the world, while you are submitting a thesis, you have to declare that I have followed the ethical practices of that particular university. In publication, everyone should declare that we have not violated the ethics. So, we have to follow the ethics. Then, what are the ethical practices, or what are the characteristics that are expected from a researcher? Or who is the man of ethics? I don't know. The list would be very long, very, very long. Very, very long. Being good, being ethical, doing what is only right demands so many qualities. So, what are the expected qualities from a researcher? There would be many. All the many qualities would be said in one word. What is that word? Honesty. If you are honest, then you are ethical. If I am honest in doing my duty, then I am ethical. Okay. Then professional ethics, how is it? How is it? Professional ethics. You are a researcher, you are a professor, either you are involved in doing research or you are involved as a co-researcher or you are involved as a guide or as a supervisor. What is the standard? What is the standard? How is it? We know by practice. Okay. In fact, in general, I am a man of 60. By my knowledge and experience, by my observations, I would say the ethics that is practiced in the research community is not so good, is damaged. Is damaged. Okay, good. We all of us agree there are so many unethical practices that has become normal in doing research. It is very, very difficult, in fact, to do a research that is 100% ethically correct. At one point or other, in one place or the other, we have to, no other go, adapt or do that is not ethical or that is less ethical. Now, who is responsible? I am not supposed to say that, but still that is the reality. So, who is responsible? Either the professor or the research scholars or the institute or all the three. What would be the answer? What would be the answer? Anyone can unmute and say, I would be happy. Who is responsible for the unethical practices in research? Who is responsible? Or who should be blamed? The guide or the students or the institutions or the university or the college Whom should you blame? Or all the three? Or all the three? I would say all the three. All the three, I would say. Okay, good. Then, now, as a researcher, as a responsible researcher, as a responsible higher educational institution professional, stop blaming others. Be true to yourself. You do what is good to your conscience. Follow your conscience. Follow your conscience. If you do good, if you are right, if you are correct, if you practice what is only ethical, you would be rewarded. You would be rewarded. Okay. Then being ethical in research is a process. It's a process. You cannot say that I have practiced ethics in research by doing one act. No. Research is a process. It may take 6 months or 1 year or 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. So, in the beginning, you should be ethical. I mean, while starting the ethics itself, while in the beginning itself, and in the process, and in the end, you have to be ethical. Then, why should we insist that there should be ethics in research? Why? What is the reason? We want the quality output. If there is no ethics in the submitted research report, then it would affect the quality, it would affect the product, or it would affect the outcome. Therefore, in all the research institutions, there should be an ethics committee. There should be an ethics committee. And that ethics committee should prescribe what are the ethical practices to be followed in research. Point 1, point 2, point 3. And that should be given as a checklist. And that should be included in the thesis itself. That I have followed these 1, 2, 3, 4, put tick, tick, tick. Then you have to submit. Good. At first, the basic or the essence of research ethics lies in the originality. What is meant by originality? It should not be a copy, or it should not be a duplicate. It should not be of someone else, or it should not be a theft of someone else. There should be academic honesty. Don't do a research for the sake of doing research, for the sake of getting a degree. The research that you do should benefit the society. That benefit, that contribution should not have been done by anyone else in the world. That is originality. If you are repeating already what is already done, there is no originality. So there cannot be a contribution. Even if you contribute, it would be a duplicate of someone else. Then, while doing research, in research, we need to analyze, we need to examine a fact, a phenomena, a reality, an existence of something or of somebody. So, in doing research, we involve in social science research. Human beings have free will. Therefore, when you choose a subject, always inform them what is the purpose of research. What is their role? Don't compel. Don't compel. Inform them fully well. Let them be aware of what you are going to do by using them for your research. You use 10 students in your research. So all the students should be well explained and get their concurrence, get their agreement, get their voluntary cooperation for your research. That is called informed consent. If you are not telling them in advance by hiding some fact, if you do a research or if you collect data, then you are unethical. Because human beings have free will and they are free to be a participant or free to refuse to be a participant in your research. Then, in research, there should be confidentiality. You cannot reveal. In all the PhD thesis, in the data collection, All of us assure, all of us promise this data will be kept confidential and will be used only for research purposes and not for any other. Therefore, it should be kept confidential. Do not exploit. While you are collecting data, you may get a fact that is not known to others. Don't reveal. Don't exploit for your gain. Then, doing research involves a lot of skills. A single skill is not enough for doing a research. Only a talented personality, only a professor with multiple talents can do research. So what should you do? You develop your skill. Don't say that I do not know and therefore borrow, make use of others for your research and you be zero in research. You know what is what. You learn what is what. You develop the skill that are needed for doing the research. Then in research, we should always agree and say honestly, if you know, say yes. If you don't know, say yes. This is academic honesty. This will solve many problems or it will not create problem. If you lie, then it would breed some other problems. Okay, good. Then there should be transparency in research. There should be transparency. And there should be a sharing in research. Your research is not 100% original. The present research is based on the past research. You should agree. Research is a continuum. It is a process. In the past, many have done. At present, you are doing. In future, based on your research, someone else will do in future. So research is a continuous process. Therefore, there should be transparency in doing research and sharing the fruits of your research. Then, there is a concept in ethical research that is altruistic cheating. That is cheating for the benefit of someone else. Cheating for the benefit of someone else. You don't gain, but someone else will gain. Maybe your higher authorities will gain. Therefore, you lie. Your guide will gain. Therefore, the students are lying. This is called altruistic cheating. Then there is conformity bias. What is meant by conformity bias? It is a tendency to follow others without using your own judgment. You are unethical because others have followed unethical practices. Others have done that mistake in the research. Therefore, I am also doing that. If others are doing that is unethical, why can't you violate and correct it, set right? We all of us say in the previous dissertation, it is there, therefore I did it. This is called conformity bias. Then there is cognitive bias. What is meant by cognitive bias? If you are cognitively biased, then you are unethical. That means it refers to the errors or wrong ideas in your personal thinking that affects the fair decision in research. For example, this researcher is good for nothing. It is your personal thing. It is your mindset. Even if that research scholar is skillful, your mind will not agree and it would affect their entire research process. So this is cognitive bias. Then there is another unethical or unethical practice to be followed, that is cognitive overgeneralization. This is a tendency to jump to a broad conclusion based on a single piece of evidence. One day a student is coming late. Therefore, you decide throughout the year that fellow will come late. This is overgeneralization. In doing research, also, you don't overgeneralize. Everyone is liable to commit a mistake, liable to commit a mistake. Therefore, don't overgeneralize. Then there is bounded ethicality. What is meant by bounded ethicality? Some researchers, some guides cannot think beyond that. They have their own mindset. They cannot beyond that. They cannot accept. Even if the result is coming, they won't accept the result because they are not able to accept that research finding in their mind. For example, you are doing a research on the topic. Can there be a premarital relationship? Then you are doing a survey. Everyone says yes, 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 yes. But you are a rigid person. You are an old man. You belong to the past generation. Or you are a man of orthodoxically ethical, strictly ethical. You are not able to accept because the result is true, but your mind is not able to accept and you are bound by that. You cannot accept. What do you do? Then what do? You manipulate. So that is bounded ethicality. A good researcher, a good guide should be open and should not be bound. Okay. Then another one is called ethical fading. What is meant by ethical fading? I know what is ethics. I know what are the ethical practices while doing a research to be followed. I know what is what. Whether I can do this or whether I do not do this, I know. But still, due to internal, external, familial, social, authoritarian pressures, I yield to do something that is unfair. So that is called ethical fading. It is a deception. It is for profit motive. It is a winning strategy for the selfish gains. Then there is another factor called moral disengagement. What is moral disengagement? It means doing the minimum in research. Minimum. That means must, not giving their maximum. Giving research in minimum will not produce the best research or best contribution to the society and the scholars. Therefore, go beyond, give your best. Then there is an ethical issue called diffusion of responsibility. What does it mean? Failing to take a right action because others nearby are not acting or not cooperating. If everyone is coming late and if you go at first, then you are bound to come also late after some time because everybody is coming late. Therefore, you diffuse yourself. In the beginning, you are ethical. But after some time, you also begin to be unethical because of others. Because of others. That is called diffusion of responsibility. Then there is another ethical principle, harm principle. What does it mean? You harm and win. For example, there is a 100 meters race. You want to win. So you break the leg of the actual winner or would be winner. So you break the leg, you do something that is unfair, you do harm and you come up. You win for your selfish and ulterior motives. That is harm principle. Then one more is hedonistic attitude. What is meant by hedonistic attitude? What is meant by hedonism? It is a philosophical concept. According to hedonism, live, eat, make merry and die. That is hedonism. So while doing research, if you are not ethical and if you follow hedonistic attitude, let us enjoy, come on, let us be happy. Then beyond a limit, let us be happy even if it is unfair because we are going to die. We are going to die. So as long as we live, as long as we are together, let us enjoy. So this hedonistic attitude would lead to immoral practices. Then calculated moves, that is utilitarianism. Utilitarianism, do what is right. If it is, do what is right in the sense, if it works, do it. It is unethical, but it works, you do it because it is useful. That is utilitarianism. Then there should be accountability in research for the findings, for the data collection. From the beginning itself till the end, you have to honestly say, I have done my research. It is my research. For the mistakes in the research, for the errors in the research, I am responsible. Be accountable. It happened because of this. It happened because of that. I could have avoided that. So take responsibility, be accountable. Then reach out to the community. This is the major point of focus. We all have degrees, and all our research, PhD researchers are kept in the university library, college library, or in the online media, social media, everywhere. But what is the use for the community? Your research is useless if the community, if the people, if the students, if the teaching community are not benefiting, or if your research findings are not practiced by the society, if you don't take your research finding to the slums, to the people in need, then you are unethical. Most of us stop when getting a PhD degree, we stop. We don't take that findings of the PhD degree to the community and help them improve. Okay, good. Then it is once again a major point of focus. Acknowledge everything, acknowledge everyone, whether directly borrowed and indirectly borrowed. In any research, if that idea is not yours, if it is someone else, always acknowledge. This is APA 7th manual we are following at present. So within the text, acknowledge, and at the end also acknowledge. If you don't acknowledge, you are unethical. Okay, so if you don't acknowledge, you are stealing, you are dishonest. So thou shall not steal. You do your research and produce your finding. You don't take someone else's finding or someone else's idea and say that it is mine. Therefore, always acknowledge. Plagiarism is unethical. Cutting and pasting of someone else is unethical. Don't do it. There are different types of plagiarism: intentional plagiarism, unintentional plagiarism, self-plagiarism, then mosaic or patchwork plagiarism, then verbatism, then accidental plagiarism, paraphrasing plagiarism. A plagiarism is a plagiarism. Whether it is verbatic or whether it is accidental or whether it is in some other form. Plagiarism is a plagiarism. How to avoid plagiarism? Acknowledge. Plagiarism will be over. Okay. Then, for want of time, I am not explaining all the types of plagiarism. Then avoid plagiarism. Very simple. How to avoid? Be honest with yourself and properly cite. If you don't properly cite as per APA, then the plagiarism checking software will show or will take it as a plagiarism. You have acknowledged, but you are wrongly acknowledged. You have not given proper citation, or you have not followed the citation methodology, but still you have cited. Then, even then, the plagiarism software that checks will show it as a plagiarism because it is a programmed software. So if it is, the citation is not according to that software, then it will show it as a plagiarism. Okay, and at present, plagiarism cannot be, from the plagiarism we cannot escape. So many softwares have already come up and it is already practiced. Therefore, be honest, can't escape. Okay, therefore, then don't manipulate data in result. Don't collect, don't show unnecessary data or don't manipulate data. Be honest in collection of data and be honest in the research findings of the data. Show what comes. Okay, then that is called falsification, research data falsification. What does it mean by falsification? Your findings have come, but you want to make it false because that is not acceptable. That is data falsification. Okay. Then suppression of information. Sometimes we don't explicitly say out in public or openly we don't say, we suppress the information for our some motives and we hide it. That is called suppression of information, which is also unethical. Later, at a point of time when the scholar asks, why have we not said earlier, sir? We would say, you have not asked. This is unethical. In the beginning itself, we have to explain, we have to expose, we have to make it transparent. Therefore, be aware of the guidelines, be aware of the template, be aware of the format, know the rules and do the research, follow the research. If you don't know, if there is a doubt, what should you do? Don't feel shy to ask. Not asking when you don't know is a sin. It's a big mistake. Therefore, if you're not clear of when there is a doubt, just ask. Asking is good if you don't know. Therefore, ask. It would solve the bigger problems. Okay. Then, ghost authors, ghost writers, gift authors are there. Ghost authors, someone else will be doing research. Someone else will collect data for you. Someone else will write an article for you. Someone else will do research for you. That is ghost authors, ghost writers. Then what is gift authors? You pay the money, someone else will do the research. You pay the money, someone else will write the article for you. That is gift author. But both of them are unethical in research practice. Okay. Then authorship conflict. You do nothing, but you want your name to come at first. You wanted to be the first author because you are paid money. So in the authorship conflict, follow that is ethical. Follow the proper sequential order according to the contribution ratio. If you are the maximum contributor in that research, your name should come at first. Not according to designation, but according to the consent, according to the contribution. Your contribution is 60%. Then another one has contributed in that research only 50%. Then those who contributed 60% should come at first. That is the order to be followed. Okay. Then sometimes we approach consultancy services. There is nothing wrong in approaching a consultancy service. For example, language checking. Language editing softwares are available. You can use that, nothing wrong. But that consultancy, research institution, research organization, research agency should not do the research for you. You consult, get the idea, know what is what, learn how to do it, get their idea, learn and do it. You have to do it. So it is only consultancy service. Consultancy service should not become a doing service. There is a difference between research consultancy and research doing organization. Okay. Okay. Then abuse of power and position. Okay. Yes, because you are in power, you use your power to threaten the poor scholar. You use your position and do that is unfair. Then favoritism. Because you are very soft, you are very lenient, you are very flexible, you are helpful, you are very positive. You don't like due to some reason. You don't like because of certain conflict. You don't like because of differences of opinion. Then you show all partiality. You do all atrocities. You always blame. Show your favoritism. It is unethical. Then not finishing on time, delaying. What is the normal duration for submitting a PhD research? 3 years. Normal time is 3 years. I know, you know, and we all know there are students, there are research scholars who are not able to complete their research, submit their research, even after 4th year, 5th year, 6th year, and they are crying. They are not able to question the guide. They are not able to fight with the guide. Their rights, for their rights. They are not able to finish. They are not finishing. They don't allow the students to submit. It is unethical. Then sometimes you have to stand up for yourself. If you want justice, if you want to be ethical, you have to stand up. You have to speak for yourself. Even if you are beaten, even if you are troubled, you have to speak for yourself. If you don't speak for yourself, that is ethical, that for which is right, who else will speak for you? Therefore, where you have to speak it out for being honest. Then sometimes character assassination, damaging the image, spoiling the good name of good professors. For what? For selfish gain. You false accusation. Okay. Don't do it. It is unethical. Okay. Then doing research for the sake of reward. You can read. Okay. Okay. You finish my research. Expecting a reward. Okay. Don't expect a reward. Conflict of interest. If there are conflict of interest, we have to declare in the beginning itself. Then, not doing the work. The student has submitted the first chapter in January, February, March, April, May, June. 6 months are over. That research guide is not correct in the first chapter and giving back even after 6 months. The guide is not working. It is unethical. They keep it, the pile up one after the other. They don't do it immediately. They are very lazy. They do nothing. They are piling their work. It is unethical. Then an article writing and in publishing, they have to be ethical. This is another topic. Okay. Then sometimes double publication. You publish in one journal, then publish also in another journal. Then misappropriation of grants. Then unauthorized collaboration. Then using copyrighted contents without prior permission. Then salami slicing publication, that is publishing publishing one research in different parts. You do one PhD, but you publish 5 papers, 10 papers. That is called salami slicing. Okay. Then panel of examiners. In panel of examiners, in conduct a viva examination, we have to be ethical. I need to explain. I don't want to say anything about it. You know what is what, but be ethical. Maintain the professional and social distance. This is very important. It is becoming a big issue more and more now, that leads many of the good professors, good scholars, good researchers to even leave their job. Therefore, maintain the professional distance. Okay. Then, okay, this is about the complications. And finally, cold and hot coexist. Right and wrong coexist. Ethical practices and unethical practices both exist together. It is up to you to find out, to choose what is what. Do you want cold water? You take it. Do you want hot water? You take it. You want to do good in research? You can do it. You want to do all bad? You can do it. It is up to you. Okay. Okay. Any question, please? You are most welcome. I am rushing because I have to finish within 1 hour. Therefore, I have rushed a little bit. Any question, please? Thank you. Hello. Hello.
Uh,
Madam?
only one feedback is there. Only one feedback is there in the share box, sir.
Okay.
Engrossed in your lecture, professor. Very much insightful. Thank you by Uma Ayman.
Okay. Good, good.
Any other questions, participants? Please give it in the chat box. Sir, one question in the chat box.
Yes,
Good
please.
evening, sir. My question is how to find a reputed journal
How to find a
by
reputed.
Ajaz.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
And there are journal finders. There are different publishing companies. Okay. Thomson, Reuters, then Scopus, then so many publishers are there. Okay. Elsevier, so many publications are there. If your article is ready, you go to journal finder. You can note down this word journal finder. Okay, and take journal finder. There will be so many, will be not so many, at least 10 or 20 will be coming. Then first choose the publisher. Which publisher you want to publish in Elsevier? Then go to that journal finder. You want to find, yeah, you want to publish in a journal that is indexed in Scopus. Then go to Scopus and find journal finder. In the journal finder, either you have to type the topic or you have to submit the abstract. Cut and paste the topic, cut and paste the abstract. Then the journal finder will suggest relevant journals. Title of the journals. Then open the journal and go inside and find out the author guidelines. Find out the review process. Find out how much time does it take for publication. What is the accepted ratio? What is the accepted ratio? Some journals accept only 0.5%. Then don't choose that journal. If you choose that journal or that journal, then you will take so much time to publish. Okay. Therefore, choose a journal that has high publication ratio. Then find out the frequency. There are journals that are published only one issue per year. Then there are journals that are published only 2 issues in a year. Then there are journals published with quarterly, 3 months, then 2 months, then monthly journals are there. So if you want your journal to be published quick, then choose a journal that is published monthly or bi-monthly or quarterly. Don't go beyond that. If you are urgently in need of immediate publication, go to a journal that is published monthly. Then one more. Before selecting a journal, open the previous versions, previous issues. Then when you open, find out how many articles are published in the previous issues. Some journals publish only 6 articles per journal, per issue. Only 6 articles. Some other journals publish 10 issues per 10 articles per issue. There are some other journals that publish 20 articles in a single issue. So you choose a journal that publishes minimum 20 articles in a single issue. Why do I say this? If 20 articles are published in a single issue, the probability of publishing or including your article is more. Okay. So then find out the APC. Very important. What is meant by APC? Article processing charges. Find out how much they are charging. Whether it is 300 or 500 or 800 or $1,200 US dollars. Find out APC. What is the fee that they are charging? Okay. Then according to your capacity, choose. There are free journals also. Free journals also there. But you may have to wait, or your article has to be of high quality. If your article is high quality, then free journals select your article. Your article is not a very good quality, but you want it immediately, then you go for a paid journal. So many factors are there. Then, before submission of any article, please use a language editing software. Don't you make use of the freely available language editing software. For example, Grammarly is available. So many language editing softwares are available. You buy a paid version of the language editing software or get your friend's help. Then upload your article for 10 pages or 5 pages in that Grammarly app or in that language editing software. Then submit. It will reduce your language mistakes. No journal will accept an article if your article that is submitted is full of grammar mistake. Therefore, make use of language editing software. Then, sometimes the journal itself will suggest some language editing software. Make use of it. Sometimes journals itself will suggest prior to submission to do review. Pre-review is there. Follow that guidelines. Follow that. It is a big issue. We can go on talking. I hope I have answered the question. If you are still
Sir,
anything,
another
please.
question, sir, from Ponam. What is paraphrasing plagiarism?
What is paraphrasing plagiarism? Very good. To escape from what is plagiarism? Using someone else's idea or concept, and if you don't acknowledge, and if you say that idea is yours, if you don't acknowledge, it means you are saying that idea is yours. That is plagiarism. Okay, be clear of it. Then sometimes the idea is someone else. So what do? You don't want to acknowledge, so you paraphrase it. What is meant by paraphrase? You remove some words. You replace the words with some other words. Or you change the sentence order. You change the language style of presentation. So the concept is originally not yours, but you change it. You change it. Okay. So that is called paraphrasing. Even if you paraphrase, by ethical practice, by ethics, you have to acknowledge. There are two types of acknowledgement in research. One is direct quote and another one is indirect quote. Direct citation, then another one, indirect citation. What is meant by direct citation? If you quote the exact words, exact lines, then that is called direct quote. In direct quote, you have to mention the page number in the article. Instead, if you are not directly quoting, if you are indirectly quoting, if you paraphrase and quote it, if you paraphrase and use it, then you have to, once again, within the inside citation, cite the name of the author, then say the year. That is enough. You need not include the page number. You need not include the page number. If you find a page number in an article within the in-text citation, you remember that is direct quotation. That means even a full stop is not changed. Even a comma is not changed. Verbatically copied and pasted. That is called direct quoting. Okay. If it is indirect, then you paraphrase. You say it in your own words. Idea is someone else, but the wordings is yours or different. This is called paraphrasing.
Sir,
Yes.
another question by Rohan.
Okay.
Rohan, can you suggest some free publication journal in Scopus?
Pre-publication journal. It depends. Okay, I can suggest. It depends on the field. Okay. There are journals that are meant only for English. There are journals that are meant only for commerce. There are journals that are meant only for management studies. There are journals meant only for medicine. There are journals meant only for engineering, in computer engineering. Okay, so the journals are generally subject specific. Subject specific. Mathematics department in the university will publish a mathematics journal. Okay, then mathematics, so allied will come together and publish. But still, a biology department cannot produce or cannot run a journal for English. So, suggesting a journal is possible only if I know in which branch, whether it is in social science, whether it is in education, whether it is in psychology, in which field, which discipline. Only then we can suggest. I hope I am answering the question. Am I right?
Sir, a question from Revati, sir.
Ah.
What are plagiarism rules currently with UGC?
Actually, the UGC has not come out with exact rules for plagiarism. Okay, the general rule is applicable. You should not copy. If you copy, you have to acknowledge. If you don't acknowledge, you are not academically honest. That is basic rule. But according to the university, it differs. The plagiarism level is not universally fixed all over India by UGC. Then, according to the department, the plagiarism ratio differs. For example, in education, we all belong to education. In education, what about chapter 2? The chapter 2 is 100%. The chapter 2 is 100% will come under plagiarism. Except the last part. Okay. So there, so if by removing chapter 2, you cannot submit a PhD in education. Review of literature is 100%, not yours. They are the articles of others. So you have to acknowledge. So like that, it differs. So you find out according to your university, according to your subject, according to the department, how much is the ratio allowed in plagiarism. Some universities allow 20%. Some universities allow 25%. Some universities allow only 15%. So find out from the department, from your university, what is the allowed ratio of plagiarism in your subject. I hope I have answered.
Sir, another question from Rohan. Can we publish the paper which was presented in a conference?
Very good. Actually, publishing is only one publishing. Okay? Presentation is different. Publication is different. Once again, I say, presentation of a paper in a conference is different. Publication of that conference paper is different. Okay, good. All the papers that are presented may not be published. May not be published. You just present in the seminar, in the conference. Okay. Some conference papers, some conference organizers do not publish papers. Do not publish papers. Even if they publish it only as a monograph. They don't publish it as a journal. Here, if a conference that is organized in which you have presented a paper, if that is publishing your article in the form of a journal, then don't republish. Don't republish. Imagine they are publishing it only in the form of a monograph. Then you can publish in a journal. Do you know why? A monograph is not a journal. A monograph is not a journal. So you can publish it in a journal. To call a journal as a journal, then there should be ISSN. There should be DOI for your article. So merely presenting is not a problem. Sometimes some conferences are organized. They will say the best papers will be published in Scopus Index journals. In that case, if they have published, then you are not supposed to publish it once again. So find out whether they are publishing in a journal, or whether they are publishing in a monograph. You find out, then accordingly decide. Have I answered, please?
Yes, sir. Yeah, another question from Poonam. If the UGC said peer-reviewed journal publication is okay for PhD thesis submission, so still some guide demands Scopus Index journal, and Scopus Index journal have IAPC in USD. What to do?
This is the problem. This is not the problem of the guides. This is not the problem of the scholars. This is an administrative problem. When the UGC says, when the UGC passes a resolution that peer-reviewed journals are enough for thesis submission, then all the universities that come under UGC should adhere or should follow that rule, that guideline. If they are not following, I don't know what to say. Maybe you can complain. Maybe you write a complaint to UGC saying, quote exactly on which date, on in which circular the UGC says peer-reviewed journal is enough. Quote that and say this particular university where I have to submit the thesis is not accepting the peer-reviewed journal. They are compelling me to publish only in Scopus Index. So complain. Sometimes you may get a solution. Okay.
Sir,
Yes, please.
how to search and find free journal by subject wise?
Free journal. It is very complicated. It is a big process in the sense at the external level they say it is very free, but when you go deeper at the second level, third level, they begin to charge. Very few journals are honestly saying openly, number one, whether they are indexed or not. At the first sight, you will see indexed in Scopus, indexed in UGC. Okay, you all believe, you publish, then finally you find that it is a humbug. You are cheated. It was in Scopus in 2000, but in 2025 it is removed. But you are cheated. You are cheated. Very difficult. Find free journals. They say sometimes they ask some journals, they don't say how much is the article processing fee, but they ask you to submit. After review, they say you have to pay this amount. Some journals say they don't charge directly. They say you become a member. To become a member, you have to pay. Or you have to subscribe a journal. You have to subscribe a journal. You have to become a life member. You have to become a life member. So many complications are there. So still it is an exploration. You have to go on search. That is the only way. Only way. Find out, don't believe in the homepage. Even now, there are journals that are publishing UGC care listed. UGC care listed is already removed, but still they say, they advertise UGC care listed journal. It is a cheating. Poor students are cheated. They say it is Scopus in index, but actually it is not indexed. Actually, it is not indexed. They say it has a DOI. Actually, it doesn't have DOI with cross-ref. Only DOI with cross-ref agency is accepted. There are DOI that are given by some other agency. They are not accepted. Therefore, be very careful. Always be in touch with A man who knows what is what. Be in touch with a professor who is well versed in this field. Only then, only with their guidance, we can achieve. Regionals are there, but they say take so much time, number one. Number two, they expect high quality. Okay. Then, for example, the minimum for 6 pages, your article is there. Then they expect 4 pages, 5 pages reference. Are you able to do it? No. This is the issue. Then,
Sir,
yes.
how to avoid plagiarism?
How to?
A question by Jagitul Islam.
Repeat, please.
How can we avoid plagiarism?
How to avoid plagiarism? Be original. Think and write. Think and write. Don't copy. Say what is what. Even if others don't agree, don't worry about it. What you quote for to support your idea. You get the support of some other research scholars for your idea. That is not plagiarism. How to avoid? You cannot avoid. You have to type on your own. For example, chapter 1. Chapter 1. How to write chapter 1? For example, in chapter 1, what is the title of the chapter 1 in education? Introduction and conceptual framework. What is conceptual framework? Conceptual framework is nothing but theoretical framework. What is meant by theoretical framework? You show the theory, you quote the theory, based on which theory this topic variables are selected. Theoretically, what are the concepts said about that particular research variable? That is theoretical framework. Then theory is there. You are quoting that. You are using that theory. Can you produce a new theory on your own? You cannot. So what have you to do? Can you copy, cut and paste one theory in a website and paste that this is the theory? No. If you do so, it is plagiarism. So how to solve plagiarism? You read that particular theory. Read that particular theory. Then read that particular theory in different websites. You understand the idea of the theory. Then you type in your own words. You type in your own words. While typing, you quote 1 or 2 lines from different websites to support what you have understood from that theory. Do you follow me? Don't cut and paste. You understand. You reflect. You reflect it over. Then you write on your own. You type on your own. While you are typing, you quote 1 line, 2 lines, maximum 2 lines, quote from different sources about that single theory. You are explaining one theory in 1 paragraph. So you should type originally what you understood about that theory. Then you can cite from 2, 3, 4, 5 websites that say something about the theory. So by this way, you can avoid plagiarism. Don't 100% not original. I mean, okay, it cannot be original, but the presentation could be original. You read a lot, you understand, then you say it in your words. Say it in your own words. The plagiarism problem is over.
Yes, sir.
Hello, am I clear? You say it in your own words. The plagiarism is over. But you say your idea in the words of someone else, then you are caught in the plagiarism. Hello? I answer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ah.
Yes, sir. I think with this we can end the session today. There are some questions in the chat box that we can answer tomorrow, sir. It's
Okay.
already 8:30. You'll be very tired. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
And we'll be again meeting tomorrow. It was a wonderful session. There are very good feedback in the chat box. It was
Okay.
very ethical session. It was very wonderful. Many good, excellent, informative presentation and interaction. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
From Veerasamy.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. We will meet again tomorrow, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Good night,
participants.
sir.
Thank you for being patient. The time is over. Actually, the organizer Sailila has asked me to complete within 1 hour and 15 minutes. But now we have taken 2 hours almost. Okay. I also rushing through, but still it's okay. Good. Good. Good.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Enjoy. Have a nice day. Thank you, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Participants, you can leave the session. We can join tomorrow with the same link at the same time. I think we'll be giving the time tomorrow. What will be the time? Maybe it is 7:15 or 6:30. We'll be informing in the group. Thank you very much. You can leave the session, please, all the participants. Thank you. Good night. No feedback link. Tomorrow we will be getting the feedback link as a whole. Thank you.